I'm Joan Kelly for Red Carpet Diary at the Visa Screening Room. David Cronenberg is back to his hometown of Toronto after acclaim in Venice. Krista Herman has this story on his latest film, A Dangerous Method.
Viggo Mortensen and Michael Fassbender star as psychiatrists Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. When a troubled patient played by Keira Knightley seeks treatment, both men are captivated by her delicate beauty and her haunted past.
Perhaps she's the one for your experimental treatment.
Tell me about the first time you can remember being beaten by your father.
It excited me.
And how is your little Russian patient?
There was the most dramatic improvement.
Is she a virgin?
Almost certainly.
If you ever want to take the initiative, I live in that building there.
Why were people so intimidated by Freud's ideas, and maybe still are?
By Freud, well, first of all, he was a genius. I mean, he was a brilliant man. He was also very charismatic, and he was very persuasive. He really was very seductive. If you read Freud, you see how clear and how he was much clearer about his own thinking than people who have commented on him. You know, he's very capable of criticizing himself, and he was really a titan. I mean, he was so well educated, so deeply cultured a man, and very passionate as well, and obsessive, and a powerhouse. You know, really a brilliant man.
How did you prepare to play Mr. Sigmund Freud?
Well, I read everything that I had read before about him and by him. Reread that, and then I read everything that I hadn't read about him and by him, which was a lot. I was lucky that I had just enough time to go to the place where he was born. I went to Vienna, spent some time there where he lived and worked for decades. Went to the place he died in London, and just tried to, you know, do what I usually do. But in this case, I had a special help in that after a couple of days of shooting, I realized that, I mean, I'm glad I did the research, but I didn't need to worry about it as much because I had the model in front of me in a way. You know, Cronenberg, in a lot of ways, is similar. Not that he physically resembles Sigmund Freud, but his sense of humor and his wit and his intelligence and his way of working with people is exactly the way Freud's was described. So I thought I could have saved myself some trouble. I could have just watched him.
I mean, I read a lot of books. I spoke to a couple of analysts about sort of tics and exactly what that was and what hysteria was and that kind of thing. I mean, it was quite tricky because when you first read the script, it sort of said, okay, hysterical fits and is ravaged by tics. And you think, well, what does that mean? So it was a lot of reading, really.
There's a rumor you've taken one of your patients as a mistress.
Surely you didn't think I'd let you go without putting up a fight.
Sometimes you have to do something unforgivable just to be able to go on living.
David is such a giving director, and he's just such a wonderful person, and his art is so thought-provoking. It was a great experience for me. It was wonderful.
Sex.
Male.
Family.
Child.
Divorce.
No.